Okay, welcome everybody to our energetics training this Saturday. Glad you could meet with us, and I'll be your host, George Hoagland, and it really was a pleasure to join Aegea back at the end of last August. It'll be a year at the end of this August. What a great year it's been, and to see the transformation from our company and how Jeff and Eric and Dave have really kind of guided the company to where it is now. And where we are now, I think, is a great platform for everybody to just take off. Hopefully everybody can hear me well. I'm going to speak up as loud as I can, make sure everybody can hear me. But here's what I want to mention today. Systems you can use to contact and keep people, what we call, in the process of recruiting and in the process of joining us as energetics here over this month and the months to come. So I call it the energetics C7. There are 7 kind of principles I want to quickly go over. First one is commitment, consistency, community, communication, casting, and closing. So let's start with commitment. In my mind, everybody on this call has probably made the commitment. By commitment, when you talk to somebody, you really have to make up your mind. Let's see if I can hear a chat here. You have to make up your mind that you're going to make this business work. The energetics is a place you want to build a secondary or maybe a primary income. And I want to start with this diagram right here. This is something I read just yesterday. Almost half of Americans die nearly broke. Americans die with an average debt of $62,000. 69% of adults admitted to having less than $1,000 in the bank, while 34% said they actually don't have any savings at all. On a survey, only 37% of seniors 65 and older claim to have $1,000 or more. Now look at this graph. Out of 100 people age 65, 1 person will be wealthy, 5 million or more. 4 people will be financially independent. 41 will have to continue working, and 54 will be broke. Wow, majority of us will be working or completely broke, 95 out of 100. The thing I like about stats is they don't lie. And the reason I mention this is why you should be working energetics and working it as hard as you can now. And one of the reasons is what we're going over right here. You may not believe it, but a lot of people go through their whole savings in the last 2 years of their life because of medical issues. There's a lot of things that can wipe out everything you've worked for your whole life. But here's the thing. A network marketing income or commission that is built on a firm foundation can last years and years and years. You know, the Bible says, good man hands down a inheritance to his children's children. Now, if you know this industry of networking, take a company like Amway, started in '59. So over 60 years, they've been in business. You're looking at an industry that you really can have a 60, 70, 100-year run. As long as capitalism survives, network marketing can survive. So I want you to get in your mind today, what a great opportunity you have here in America, and what a great opportunity you have in energetics to build something, not just now, but for the future. But as we all know, for all of us have been in energetics for the last year or more, being an entrepreneur and building a business takes a lot of effort. It takes consistency, and it takes commitment, and it takes time. Anything worth building is going to take some time. So we start with this commitment, and you really need to be 100% in, and here's why. People will pick up your commitment level. If you're wishy-washy, if you think you're kind of one toe in, kind of in, or maybe it's not going to work, to the way I think you need it to. People need to know that you're committed. And part of that is that when somebody calls you, you need to pick it up. Or when you call them, you expect them to pick up. You need to be committed around the phone. They need you all in. Your Facebook should present it. You should go on our Facebook. I'm going to go through what I call the ATM system in a little bit. But we start with a commitment. Dr. Joe, you want to comment on that?
Be happy to, George. Yeah, I mean, you have to really get excited about any opportunity to get involved with, particularly a GIA, and you have to really have 100% commitment. I mean, you have to really have a sellout attitude and a passion and a desire to do something special. And you know, this is not just about us. This is about everybody else that decides to join, whether they're in our organization or a different organization, to help each other as a team. And see, as a team, together everybody achieves more. So we need to be available for people, and we need to help them drive organization. We need to help them get trained. We need to encourage them to get on webinars. And we need to be available for people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, a lot of us work this part-time. So I try to put things in the cracks of my full-time world surgery schedule, and I'm able to do that fairly conveniently every single day. There's occasionally a time where I'm not available, but I will get back to people right away. But again, you have to have a sold-out attitude as to really how you're going to conduct your business, how you're going to take care of yourself, and how visible you are going to be to your entire team.
Thank you, Dr. Joe. Those are great words. And, you know, as I take notes, I never get tired of taking notes and then going back over them. But it all starts with commitment. The second one is consistency. Number two is consistency. And consistency really goes into this. You know, you could also put the word up here, decide. The word decide actually comes from the word scissors, which is to cut away. You've got to be consistent. You have to have some kind of schedule. And your people you know need to know what that schedule is. If you're only available several hours this day or that day, you need to let everybody know. But whatever it is, you need to be consistent. And Dr. Joe, I used to have a thing called 2 a day, 10 and play. And what that refers to is that I made a commitment to talk to 2 new people every single day, 5 days a week. So you'd always have at least 10 people that you were in what we call process. It takes, on average, 5 to 7 touches, that is contacts, with one person before they make a decision to join Energetics. It's a process. It's not a one-time, often it's not a one-time call. Often we have to what we call sample to recruit. This is going to be a big theme today, sample to recruit. We have both our products in terms of what we have on our frequency or hologram side with even with our card and our freshness card. These are all sampleable products, but particularly true with the coffee. When you have products that you can sample, to me, it's the #1 way to recruit somebody. I want everybody to think about this. How many of us have really bought something before we tried it? And I tell this all the time. I usually go down to the post office at least 2 or 3 times a week to mail out what? The coffee or the holograms. And why do I do that? Because most of the people I talk to want to try it. And that's why the party system that Jeff talks about is so powerful, because you can't sample the patches, you can't sample the cards, you can't sample the coffee over the phone. It's something they have to be in your presence, or you have to send it to them. So I use this very, very, very consistently, and that is 2 a day, 10 and play, and then I sample to recruit. Dr. Joe? Must have unmuted you somehow. There you go. Maybe you can't do it. Okay, so that's.
I'm gonna make sure I'm on. Okay, I'm off mute now. I muted myself, George. I apologize. But anyway, yeah, you know, some people will sign up, you know, just because it's you. But most people do have to try the product. So yes, I'm giving coffee away. I'm giving the patches away. I'm showing people where to put the patches. I'm doing this as often as I can. on a daily basis. And again, it's the law of large numbers is on our side. How many people have heard about energetics? How many people have heard about AGEA in your neighborhood, in your town, in your city? Nobody. So this is a wide open opportunity, and you got to sort through the numbers. It's a sorting business, not a convincing business. I mean, if you try to convince somebody to do this, and you talk to them 25 times until you're blue in the face, and you're wasting your time. So you got to work with the right people and approach the right people and just do massive sorting, in my opinion.
I like that, massive sorting. You're looking for those who are looking for you, and there are two ways to approach people. You're either going to approach them with the money, the opportunity, or you're going to lead with the product. Now, I feel either one of these is true. So if I'm going to talk to somebody, call them up, I might do this. I say, Dr. Joe, how you doing, buddy?
Good, George. How are you?
Good. I haven't talked to you in a while. Dr. Joe, you know, I know you've dabbled in networking for a little bit, but I think I found the mother lode. I think I found the biggest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. Are you still open? Because I know you're looking for some extra money way back when.
Yes.
Great. Look, at what I'd like to do, rather than explain it all, is shoot you over some information on this, and I want you to try it. But can I ask you a simple question? Do you drink coffee?
Absolutely.
You know,
3 cups
people love
a day.
coffee. It's the second biggest beverage ever. And most people love it. They love the taste. They love the heat of it. It's relaxing. It's something we do socially. But, you know, most people just drink coffee with the caffeine. What if we had a coffee product that did 4 different things? Number one, it gave you that energy, not just the caffeine, but all kinds of extra energy all day long without the jitters. It increased your mental clarity. It increased your happiness. Joe, Dr. Joe, you think anybody who wouldn't want to be more happy?
Not me, George. I mean, I think everybody needs more energy and needs to be more happy, obviously.
And the last thing, it helps people lose weight. So what I'd like to do is send you over some information. And if you'd like, I could send you a sample of our amazing coffee. Would that be okay?
That's great, George. How many samples will you send me?
How many do you want?
10.
Yeah, let me ask you this. If I'm going to spend and run down and send you 10 samples, if this coffee works the way that I'm describing, it just changes your life, would you be willing to join with me?
Absolutely, I would. And George, you don't have to send me 10. Just send me a few, okay?
No, Dr. John, I'm
trying to break your bank
you know why?
account.
Because I want you to send it out to like 3 other people that you know. So
Right.
That's what we've got. So anyways, you know, I'm sorry about the line in here, but that's going to be with us for a while. I forgot how you get rid of this thing, but it's okay. So that's how I do it. Now, that's leading kind of with the opportunity, but you see I went with the products. Now, you could just lead with the products. Hey, say, hey, Dr. Joe, how are you, buddy?
Doing good, George. How are you?
Good, I'm talking about. Hey, Dr. Joe, I got to tell you something. You got a second? I can run something by you?
Sure, go ahead.
Dr. Joe, I've been trying, I don't know about you, but I've been fighting weight my whole entire life. When I was 18, I played 4 sports in high school. I went to college. I didn't put on the freshman 10. I put on the freshman 15. I put on the freshman 35. And I've been up and down my entire life. Dr. Joe, God's memory, I just lost 27 pounds on an amazing coffee. And I feel like I'm honest. I just feel the best I ever have. Or you could say, I have have you ever heard of Tesla? And you go through frequency. But in other words, you lead with a product. You give your testimonial. You can lead money. When I last talked to you, you were looking for money. I think I found the mother lode. I think I found the best thing ever. And I led with that. Or you can lead with a product. Dr. Joe, how do you do it?
Well, it depends on the individual. I may lead with you know, would you like an extra stream of income? Are you looking for other ways of making money? And when you get their attention, and what you want to do is you want to get a yes answer, no matter what you ask them. Once you get a yes answer, then bing, then I might say, look, I'm working with some phenomenal people in an international company that's been around for a year and a half. You know, we're talking about one of the highest holistic products really in the world. It's really hard for me to explain it, but I'd like to put you on the phone with one of the top executives. His name's Jeff Cohen. His name's Eric Swaim. His name is George Hoagland. Her name is Susie Jackson. His name is David Blackburn. In other words, I use a third party sometimes to allow the third party expert to do the presentation, because you face it, a lot of us, people know us for who we are. A lot of people don't know you for being in healthcare. They don't know you for doing this or doing that, or being an expert in network marketing. But once you put somebody on the phone with somebody else via a three-way call, let them do the explanation. So I might lead with the opportunity. I might lead with, do you have any discomfort in your body? Are you having any headaches? How's your energy doing? Are you sleeping well at night? These are basic questions that we can ask that will lead to a yes answer. And once you get that yes answer, then it's up to us to either, send product like George says, email them something, definitely get something in their hands in terms of any literature or a website or a product as fast as you can. It's a need for speed. In other words, you shouldn't wait a long time after you approach somebody to get back to them. Get back to them as fast as possible. And all you want to do is find out, are they going to be in? Do they want to try the product? Do they not want to try the product? Do they want to do the business? Are they going to get on a Tuesday night call? Are they going to get on a Saturday webinar? Find out where they're going to be and then follow up afterwards.
Thank you. That's a great advice. I haven't, Susie's on the phone now too, and I haven't really, hey Susie, can you talk or you can't talk? You probably can't.
I can talk. What would you like me to say?
Yeah, why don't you comment on what we've gone over so far? And this part of the training is one of the most powerful parts, because Dr. Joe went over, and it is the actual how you pick up the phone and what you say and how you lead with the product or the money, and the importance of the three-way call. It's an amazing, important tool. In fact, I don't know how anybody really grows their energetics business without using the three-way call. You want to comment on that?
Sure. I always, when I teach people about prospecting, it's always about a question, that you ask the prospect rather than trying to sell them something. Because when you try to sell people something, or if they feel like they're being sold, then they back up from you. But when you ask them a question, they will move forward or move towards you. So, it's really important to know something about your prospect. So you know whether you want to approach them about the business, or whether you want to approach them about the product. And then you can always ask, like you could have a third-party invitation, like, do you know anybody who might need to make some extra income? Do you know anybody who likes to drink coffee? I mean, you don't have to ask them the question directly, but decide what kind of a question you want to ask, and then, you just use it over and over again. And then it is critically important, and I say critically important, that you follow a system with your prospect. Particularly if you're talking to professional networkers, they're going to be looking for that. They're going to say to themselves, does this person have a duplicatable system that I could use to build a business? That's what they say. Now, people who are not professional networkers, they're going to say something else. They're going to say something like, well, I love the product and I want to make money, but I don't do sales, and I don't know, I wouldn't know what to do. And if you've done the right thing, then your response is, well, that's easy, prospect. You would do exactly what I did with you. Remember how I reached out to you and I asked you a simple question, and you indicated you had an interest, and I sent you a video. and I followed up and I sent you an email with some more information. And then remember how I put you on the phone with my upline and how they answered all your questions? And they'll say, yeah, I remember how you did that. And say, great. So that's how you would do it. You and I would partner up together, excuse me, work as a team, and we would follow that system. We would just, wash, rinse, repeat.
Absolutely. Hey, Dr. Joe, the system I use, and maybe Susie's talking about it, I call it a 1, 2, 3 system. Step 1 is just what we said. You pick up the phone and you do that little call we did where you talk about, last time I talked to you, you were looking to make some extra money. I think I found the mother load. I think I found the home run. You got to take a look at it. And then you ask them either do you drink coffee or what you said, the little questions about do you lack energy? How is your energy? How is your weight management and so on? Something that you think is their hot button. Step 2 for me is I sample the product. Now that can be done personally if you meet them at a Starbucks, at your home or their home, or it's going down to the post office and send it. And then the third one is a 3-way call. Now, you also, step 2 can be sending one of the videos we have. It can be one of the ones from Jeff. You can also send it to Facebook. You can send them to the website, but you're going to send them information, and then you do a 3-way call. Dr. Joe.
Yes, sir.
What's your system? 1, 2, 3.
Well,
your step?
Yeah, I think it's important that we all stick to a system. So yeah, step number 1 is, you call somebody up, you have a little conversation with them, and then you ask them a question. How's your energy? How are you feeling? You look at other ways of making money. And when you get a yes answer, that will lead you to step 2, which is to send them information, like you indicated. Send them a website, send them a video, meet with them, give them some products, that type of thing. Once they've experienced the product or once they've looked at a website. And then step number 3 is, you call them up, say, how do you like the products? Are they working well on you? Are you feeling better? How's your discomfort? Questions like that. And then they'll say, they'll give you an answer. And most of the time they're going to say, yes, I love these products. And I say, well, how would you like to get started in the company? How would you like to join and become an affiliate? Because you have to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, then you're not going to get a response. So that's basically the system I would use.
Okay, well, here's the $1 million question, Dr. Joe. Teaching school for 15 years, we know that most of my kids did not like to get up when I asked them to go to the board to explain, for example, titration or pH balance or something like that. Most people don't like public speaking, and most people have a fear of the phone to pick up and call somebody. I used to say, look at, if I was to go into your phone right now and start with the A's, like say the first person in your phone is Ann, and I was to ask them, have you called Ann yet? Most people haven't. Why is that, Dr. Joe?
I'm not getting your question right now.
Here's the question. Okay. Most people on this call, most people that we sponsor, actually have a lot of people on their phone that don't even know they're in energetics. Do you know why? Because they haven't called them. Most people don't call the people because they have a fear of calling them. How do they get over that fear?
Well, they have to develop a huge why factor. Why they're doing the business? Why are you involved? Is it to retire? Their why factor is very important, George. And if you have a huge why, then you're going to start to get over the fear of making a call. But the way to help somebody make calls is to be right there with them. Be there when they call somebody up. Be there to coach them. Give them some scripts. Give them some conversation. Most people fear failure, and they don't want their best friend Mary to say, what are you doing this for? Why are you doing this? Because they still don't, they fear what people are going to say back. That's one of the main problems with calling people. I mean, they didn't pre-program names into a cell phone. You know, we know those people, right? So,
Yeah.
so he didn't get a cell phone with 1,000 names in it, right? We all
Right.
know those people, and it's just a matter of writing down a script and just calling people, and making sure that if you're not experiencing this, that your upline support is there with you to pick you up. And you have to understand also that rejection does take place. People are going to say no. Now, a no doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't kill anybody. They just said, no, I'm not interested. And when they say that, it's not up to us to try to convince them. And I'll say, hey, Bob, thank you very much for your time. It's obviously not for you. And then I'll hang up without trying to convince somebody. Now, the other thing that I want to bring up is the fact that don't burn bridges. Just because your best friend, Tom, refuses to get product or refuses to look at the opportunity doesn't mean that down the road he won't, because it's not no, but it's not now, and it's not forever. So I keep people on a ticker list, and I get back to them maybe 3 to 4 to 5 months. Hey, Bob, this is Joe. Remember we talked about before? How you feeling these days? Oh my goodness, I had a heart attack, or I fell and hurt my knee, and all of a sudden say, listen, Bob, I have some product that we talked about before, but maybe you may want to try the products now since you've had an injury to yourself. So it's all about just massively calling people, making sure that if you're unsure as to what to say, that you have somebody there helping you to make those calls. And see, once you help somebody make 5 to 6 to 7 calls, then it becomes a lot easier.
I really like that. I have a friend that often I like to make a call by myself, but if you're having some issues with that, partner up with somebody. That is step 3, by the way, is community. And it's a good segue into this. I think you have to really partner with people in your upline and downline. And here's why. Networking is we're an entrepreneur, we're a home-based business, and in some respects, it's a very kind of lonely business. You've got the computer, you got your phone, and you got you. A lot of us don't even have our spouse or significant other behind us. And God bless those that you do have a lot of support. But if you don't, you have support in the upline and downline because they have the same commitment or goal as you do, and that is to have some kind of financial independence and make some significant money here at Energetics. So I always tell people you need to partner up and not try to do this alone. And I know several people that what they do, Dr. Joe, rather than make the call themselves, they have the other person on the line on every call. Jesus sent people 2 by 2. There's something about 2 that's not twice as powerful. It's like 10 times as powerful. Agreed?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So once we get done with this call, if you could, everybody, I would write down who is your upline you want to partner with. I call them every day. I call my downline nearly every day. And that's how I build the business. Very, very important that you have some kind of community. Step 4 is communication. We've talked a lot about communication today, but it's what Dr. Joe talked about, in that you have to email, call, you have to stay in contact, text consistently, go to their Facebook. But network marketing at its base is really communication. And it works that way because you are trying to not sell them something, you're trying to educate them, you're trying to keep them in the loop. Part of the fear of the phone is if you think you're trying to sell somebody, you're really not. What you're doing is offer them an opportunity to, number one, change their health in an area called frequency medicine or energy medicine that most of them have never even heard of. And it's a cutting edge, and it's difficult for some people to really get. But the fact that they're getting hit with EMF waves, the fact that they can really change your life with this, you just got to communicate and continue to communicate with them all the benefits that our product line and our opportunity provides. And then also stay in touch with them, because as Dr. Joe, you never know when their timing is going to be right. So if you look at our daily schedule, it's part of it is just staying in contact with the people you've done. Part of it is with the prospects you're just currently doing. Part of it is going to Facebook and posting things. And it all has to do with communication. Number 5 is, where are we? Number 5 is casting. That's really prospecting. It couldn't work. The word casting to me is like, the reason I use the word casting is sort of like fishing. And when you're prospecting, it really is like fishing. You're putting some bait out there. To me, the bait is the sampling. But the fact is, there's a big pond out there of fish that need our products and need our opportunity. So it's simply a matter, if you feel like you're just going to cast out the information of energetics, cast out our products, and see if somebody bites on it, because somebody needs our product today. Dr. Joe?
Yeah, casting is a very interesting thing you brought up here. And, if you drop a line into the water with nice bait, the fish will come to it. But if you jump into the water and go after the fish, they'll run away. So you can actually chase people away by, I think, calling them too many times, maybe talking too much about what's going on. My thing is, the less you say, the more they're going to want to do it. The more you say, the less they're going to want to do it. So you don't want to chase people away, but you want to give them the right bait. And you get the bait by asking them the questions like, how are you feeling? How's your discomfort? Do you have a radiation blocker on your cell phone? Do you want something in your refrigerator to make your food last longer? I mean, these are very simple questions. I mean, there's so many questions we can ask people, and that's basically the bait. And then we give them the product to try, which is giving them better bait. And then finally, they're gonna eat the bait. They're gonna use the product. They're gonna like the coffee. They're gonna like the patches. They're gonna get relief of discomfort, because to me, everybody gets relief of discomfort from the patches. And then that's a situation where you ask them a question. Are you ready to get started? I mean, if you don't ask them that question, they're not going to say, I'm ready to get started most of the time. Most of the time, you have to ask that question. Hope that helps, George.
It really helps. And I'm sure we could all comment. We're past 33 minutes. I don't want to go too much longer. I know that Saturday is very precious. I mean, I could talk for a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say that only 6, but I'll come up with it.
George, even half an hour is, I think, is minimal time for a training. So, I mean, people can always get off the training too, but I think some of the stuff that you're going over right now is very, very important.
Thank you. So here's Dr. Joe's point. You have to ask a closing question. I would have never got married if I waited for my wife to ask me. It ain't gonna happen. It's just not the way it happens. You have to ask, and it's the art of asking the question. I love what Dr. Joe is talking about. And here's the neat thing about asking questions. It takes all the pressure off of you having to memorize all the stuff that Jeff talks about, to understand frequency and Tesla and how modulations and 5G and explaining how it all works. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to memorize all the ingredients in our coffee. You just need to understand. You ask them the questions so you can find out what it is they want, rather than trying to assume what it is they want. You have no idea. But one of the assumptions I always have, Doc, is most people are not making the type of money that they want to. I also know that many people have been associated with network marketing and know what it is, and they have some resistance to it. So you need to know that going in. So that's where the bait comes in. If you ask the right questions and lead them to it, and you don't get pushy, let them just explain what it is that they've got an issue with. Maybe it's a weight issue. Maybe it's a discomfort issue. Maybe it's an energy issue. Maybe they understand a little bit about EMF, the freshness card, our quantum card, there's so many ways to talk about the benefits, and particularly the coffee. And as I said, once you get them talking, and as Dr. Joe said, you get them to say yes to something, there you got them. In terms of, at least you can send them a sample, send them information, and you start the process. Dr. Joe?
You know, I fully agree with that, George. And again, you know, we're in a sorting business, and I'm sure a lot of us have heard, some will, some won't, so what, next. Hey, guess what? The faster you say next, the faster you're going to find somebody that's going to be affiliate in a GIA in your organization. The faster you say next, the faster you're going to find somebody that can maybe bring a bunch of people in from another company. Because, you know, we have something that's really refreshing. I think a GIA is very, very sexy company in terms of the products, and we have to portray that to people. And it's all about sorting. Some will, some won't, so what, next. It goes back to, you know, back in the good old days when we used to date. A woman was looking for a guy, a guy's looking for a woman to maybe eventually date, you know, permanently and maybe get married. The first one says no. The next one says no. But all of a sudden, if you keep asking people to go out on a date, they'll go out on a date with you, and eventually you'll get married to that person. It's all about, you know, sorting is very, very important to understand. Even in my medical practice, my oral surgery practice, I sort through patients to find people that want to have dental implants placed. And if Mary doesn't want to have a dental implant, that's fine. Bob will, or Susie will, or Tom will, and then all of a sudden I have a case to do. Sorting, I think, is one of the most important things to remember in terms of this training call.
Absolutely. I want to talk a second about what I call the ATM process. Okay, I want to talk a second about once you want to get outside. So we're all talking about right now warm market. The whole discussion so far is dealing with people that you know. You know, I asked a big leader once, I said, how do you actually get outside of your warm market, talk to people you don't know? And he looked at me kind of strange. He says, I have no idea. I said, what do you mean? He says, I never run out of people. Because when I call somebody I know, if they're not interested, I said, well, who do you know that has some discomfort? Who do you know that is, you know, weight challenged and wants to lose some weight? Who do you know that has a cell phone or drinks coffee? It's kind of what you said before. In other words, you go through your warm market, and if they say no, you always ask for referrals. And if you do, you'll never run out of prospects to talk to, because when you stand on a Starbucks line, or you're standing in a line or grocery line, to really strike up a conversation with somebody in front of you behind, that's a real skill set. That takes a real lot of courage, and most of us don't have that. But I do want to go through, if you feel you want to go outside your warm market, how can you start to contact people? And one of my favorite ways is to text message, or ask for, do you mind if I text you something? Doc, how do you get outside, if you want to go outside your warm market in what they call the cold market, people you don't know, what are your favorite ways to do that?
Just wherever you're at. You could be at a restaurant, you could be at a bar, you could be at a sporting event. Last night, Tim Dillon and I went over to a wine, kind of a wine bar restaurant that's relatively new in the area where we live. And, you know, we started talking about the quantum card. Tim pulls a quantum card. He's waving it over the water. He's waving over the wine. He gets the attention of the store owner. All of a sudden, we're telling him about the freshener card and how he can actually, you know, save his food a lot longer. We got his attention, and the guy really got interested. So here's what we'd have to do today: is I'm going to follow up with the guy. I'm going to give him some information. I'm going to email him some information. But no matter where you're at, all you have to do is open your mouth and ask questions. And the more you ask, the more responses you're going to get. You're going to get some no's, but you're going to get some yeses. And let's just face it, folks, I think the key is to sort through your warm market as fast as you can. Go through that cell phone as fast as you can. Go through your emails as fast as you can. Sort through the warm market, and then guess where the gold is? The gold's in the cold market. It's not in your warm market. It's in the cold market. So you have to learn how to relate to people. You have to learn how to strike up a conversation. And the only way to do that is to just do it.
You know, the other thing people should, I agree, you just have to do it. And there's no question taking out the quantum card and waving over your water, your wife, is going to get the attention of somebody without even having to say anything. Somebody's going to come and say, what is that? It's a great, what I call icebreaker, to take that card out and start doing something with it. Or talking to a waitress, so you're making all the money you want. You just have to understand your mindset needs to be, your posture needs to be, you don't need them, they need you. You have something that can really help them. You're not there to try to sell them, strong arm them, convince them of anything. You're there to offer them an opportunity in a product line that can change their life. And it's really, I think, mindset has to be, I'm doing them a favor, not they're doing you a favor. And that mindset makes the whole process completely different, doesn't it, Doc?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
You have to have, you have to have the right mindset. And the big question is how you develop it. You just develop it by just going out and doing it. Just do it. Get out of your comfort zone, and don't fear failure. You're going to fail at it. And if you say the wrong thing to the wrong person, just laugh at yourself and move on. Boy, I messed that one up with Mary. I messed that one up with Tom. Boy, I didn't say that the right way. But here's the key. You know, you can say the wrong thing to the right person and win. You can have the greatest conversation about a GIA and approach the wrong person and lose. So it's just a matter of opening your mouth. And there's different kinds of people. There's people that are very positive. They'll try the coffee. They'll get involved in your organization. They'll get involved in your business. They're going to want to buy the $9.99, pack or the $3.99 pack. Those are positive people. I call them red apples. And then we have green apples, and I like to ask questions. I mean, some green apples just like to ask questions just to hear themselves talk, and that's okay. And then there's people that we call, they're not rotten people, but we call them rotten apples. No matter what you say to that rotten apple, they're going to say, what are you doing this for, Joe? You're a doctor, for God's sakes. You pay attention to oral surgery. Stop talking about these patches. Stop talking about this wacky-do stuff. And I hear that stuff too, guys. But you can't let that bother you. Just let it roll off your back and go to the next one.
It really is. One of the things that I tell people is you need to make a game out of it and not take it so seriously. Have fun talking to people, play with them. Don't get so serious. Actually laugh, make a joke out of it. But people love to hear stories. They love to hear stories about discomfort relief. They love to hear stories about I feel on top of the world. And trying coffee, the easiest question is ask people, do you drink coffee? What a great opener. And then also, I was mentioning about LinkedIn. One of the things you can say if you go to LinkedIn or Facebook, you say, I noticed your profile, loved it, and thought I might have something that may be perfect fit for you. I might have something that's a perfect fit for you. Just putting that whole curiosity rather than, oh, I just joined this company called Energetics. You need to get in. It's a network marketing company. You can make a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. You don't do those kind of things. It's the same thing as Doc said. It's kind of more of a tease. And that is you just tell them, I think I may have something that's a perfect fit, or I found something that's amazing, and just leave it at that and let them come to you. Because if you try to push them too much, as we just talked about with the bait, you're going to push them away. I want to end, Doc, with the international. I've been very successful in an international market. If you call all the people you know and ask them a simple question, look, hey, Dr. Joe, this is George. How are you, buddy?
Good, George. How are you?
Hey, Dr. Joe, look, you know me for a long time, and I just want to know that, last year or so, I have really struggled financially. I lost big income a while ago, and I've been looking, and I have joined a company that's expanding internationally. And I didn't know if you know anybody in South America, Asia, Africa, in fact, any place that might be looking for an extra stream of income. Would you know anybody like that?
Oh, sure. I got a few friends over in England that are looking around. I know they've had some success in other businesses, but sure, I know a few people.
Would you mind if I could have their email and or some kind of contact and be able to just send them some information on my business?
Sure, no problem.
That's it. Do not discount the international part of our business. It is huge. And all you need to do is either think through your whole life if you've met some people internationally, and they may
Not coming through clear. Something's going on with your noise, your sound there. There, George? George?
No, George.
Yeah, Dan.
There he is.
Okay,
Sorry
you kind
about
of blanked out there for a second.
Yeah, it's just my internet's unstable today for some reason. But I want to close with international. It's a big deal. And next time I train, I'm going to talk about our 2 legs and how you put people in for free down your weaker leg, call them up, get them in, and try to string down 10, 15, 20 people. But I want to end today's with international. It could be a huge benefit to anybody on this call. If you've not taken the time to either go through your list of people you know internationally, whether it be Argentina or Colombia or Taiwan or Japan or Europe or someplace, you're hearing some of they are really hungry for networking, a lot of them. So it's just a matter of asking and trying to follow it down, because even they may not know, but they usually know somebody. So my biggest recruit, Dr. Joe, when I first started, was a referral. The first person I asked was a carpet layer. He wasn't interested in the business, but I asked him, and I really didn't know how to do this. It's just something that came to me. I said, well, who do you know that likes this type of business? He says, well, there's a woman at my church. She's always into this. She's a go-getter. And he introduced me to her. She became my #1 prospect. That never would have happened.
Losing you again, George.
Okay.
Okay.
What I asked was have you gotten a referral from somebody that turned out to be a big win for you?
Are you talking to me, George?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, a long time ago when I first got into this industry, it was 1997, and I had the CEO, the president of Heinz Corporation in my office. Okay. He came for a consult. Actually brought his daughters in for a consult. And so I was heavy into this company, and I said, Mr. Johnson, do you know anybody that's looking for opportunities to make serious money? See, I didn't ask him because he's the executive of Heinz, but who do you know? Do you know anybody that's looking for other ways of making money? Do you look for anybody that might be retired or looking for other ways of making money? He says, as a matter of fact, we had to do a little downsizing recently, and I have several gentlemen that are looking around. Well, he gave me a list of 3 people. I called the one guy up, and he became a superstar in my organization because I asked Mr. Johnson, who do you know? And sometimes, see, that's easier to ask somebody who they know than to ask them, are you interested? And it kind of takes the pressure off because you're asking them, who do they know? See what I mean? And then by doing that, you'll find out who they know, and who they know may be a superstar and may lead you to having an international organization in a GIA.
Well, absolutely true. So I'm going to end on that note. Even if you took that note away from this training and you learned to ask, who do you know? You have a story from Dr. Joe and me both that changed our networking career. with that question, because it's amazing that people do know other people, and especially those that have done networking and looking for a job. So I want to thank you, Dr. Joe, Susie, and all the other guests for being on. We're going to call it a day. I hope everybody got something out of this. And
Thank you, George. Great job.
Thanks, George.
everybody. Okay, I'm unmuting everybody. Everybody can say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you on
Thanks,
Tuesday
George.
night.
Thanks,
Okay,
Dr.
thank
Joe.
you.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.